You are born inside a crowded factory where nobody expects you to survive. For weeks, you have been developing inside the testes, one microscopic cell among millions, slowly acquiring the shape that gives you a chance at the most important journey of your existence. Your head carries half a set of human DNA. Behind it sits a compact energy supply, and extending from your body is a long tail built for movement. You look prepared. You are not. At first, you cannot even swim properly. You are transported into the epididymis, a long coiled tube where you mature, gain motility, and wait. Days pass. Around you are countless cells carrying different combinations of genetic information. Some carry an X chromosome. Others carry a Y chromosome. None of you knows whether the journey will ever begin. Then everything changes. A powerful wave of muscular contractions launches you forward. Fluids from the seminal vesicles and prostate surround the crowd, forming semen that protects and nourishes you during the first part of the trip. You are propelled through the urethra and suddenly expelled into a completely unfamiliar world. The race has begun, but the finish line is nowhere nearby. You land inside the vagina with millions of competitors, packed together in a turbulent flood. For one brief moment, it feels as if numbers alone make victory inevitable. Then the environment begins killing you. The vagina is naturally acidic, which helps protect the body from harmful microorganisms. For sperm cells, that acidity is dangerous. Seminal fluid temporarily reduces some of the threat, but the protection does not last. Competitors around you slow down, lose movement, and disappear. You move toward the cervix, the narrow entrance leading into the uterus. It looks like a gateway, but it does not stay equally welcoming throughout the menstrual cycle. Most days, cervical mucus is thick and difficult to cross, functioning almost like a locked filter. Near ovulation, hormones transform it. The mucus becomes thinner, wetter, and arranged into channels that can help guide sperm through. Timing matters more than speed. If ejaculation occurs too far from ovulation, the gate may be almost impossible to cross. If it occurs during the fertile window, the mucus can protect sperm from acidity, store some cells in small cervical spaces, and release them gradually into the uterus. You reach the cervical mucus and force yourself inside. The mucus is more than a slippery shortcut. Its microscopic structure favors sperm with useful movement patterns and leaves many others behind. Some cells become lodged in dead ends, while others are swept backward by fluid. Even healthy sperm can fail because the journey depends on location, timing, and chance alone. You are not charging down a straight racetrack. You are navigating a changing maze whose doors open and close according to hormones you cannot control. This is the first true selection point. Weakly moving cells struggle. Abnormally shaped cells become trapped. Some swim in the wrong direction. Others are blocked by the structure of the mucus. You twist your tail and follow a narrow microscopic channel while the crowd around you rapidly thins. There is no cheering, no visible track. Only chemical conditions, fluid currents, and obstacles that do not care how determined you feel. You emerge into the uterus, but the enormous chamber does not reward you with safety. Immune cells detect the arrival of foreign cells and begin clearing many sperm from the reproductive tract. You are not being judged as good or evil. You simply carry unfamiliar surface molecules, and the immune system is doing what it was built to do. White blood cells close in. You swim past cellular defenders, but your tail alone is not doing all the work. Muscular contractions in the uterus help move sperm upward, and chemical signals associated with semen and ovulation may influence the environment. The journey that looks like a simple swimming contest is actually a partnership between sperm movement and the female reproductive tract. Still, direction remains a problem. 2 fallopian tubes extend from the uterus, but usually only one contains the recently released egg. Choose incorrectly, and your journey ends in an empty passage. Signals within the reproductive tract help bias sperm toward the correct side, though the guidance is not a perfect map. You are swept toward one tube. At the narrow junction leading from the uterus into the fallopian tube, another mass of competitors is lost. The passage is restrictive, and only a small fraction of the original population reaches this far. You squeeze through and enter the tube, exhausted but alive. Now something strange begins happening to your surface. During ejaculation, proteins and other molecules coated your membrane. Inside the female reproductive tract, some of those coverings are removed and your membrane changes. This process is called capacitation. It does not create you, and it does not simply make you stronger. It prepares you to respond properly to the egg and helps your tail develop a more forceful, whip-like movement known as hyperactivation. Your swimming becomes wild. Instead of smooth forward strokes, your tail lashes with powerful, uneven beats. It looks less efficient, but this movement will help you push through the cells surrounding the egg. Until capacitation occurs, you may reach the correct location and still be unable to fertilize anything. For a while, you may attach to the lining of the fallopian tube, joining a temporary reservoir of sperm. This storage can help extend survival and coordinate release around ovulation. The race is not always a non-stop sprint. Sometimes survival depends on waiting in the right place until the conditions change. Then the chemical landscape changes. The egg has been released from the ovary and is moving through the fallopian tube, surrounded by supportive cells called the cumulus. Molecules released by the egg and nearby cells can influence sperm movement. Temperature differences within the tract may also contribute to guidance. You cannot see the egg, but your membrane detects clues. You turn. Other surviving sperm turn too. What began with millions has become a small, scattered group approaching the same destination. The egg is enormous compared with you, wrapped in protective layers and drifting through the tube like a guarded planet. You reach the outer cloud of cumulus cells first, but being first does not make you the winner. You must push through a dense matrix surrounding those cells. Your hyperactivated tail beats violently, while enzymes and mechanical force help you advance. Competitors arrive from different angles. Some become trapped, some lose motility, some reach the egg's protective coat but cannot interact with it correctly. Ahead lies the zona pellucida, a tough glycoprotein layer surrounding the egg. Your head touches it. Signals at the sperm surface trigger the acrosome reaction. The cap-like compartment at the front of your head releases enzymes and exposes proteins needed for further interaction. You are no longer simply swimming. You are chemically transforming at the exact moment the barrier demands it. You drive forward, tail hammering, head pressing through the zona. This is not a clean drill through an empty wall. The surrounding sperm may contribute to changes around the egg, but fertilization still requires one compatible sperm to complete membrane fusion. Speed helped you arrive, yet survival, timing, shape, membrane readiness, chemical recognition, and the behavior of the reproductive tract have all mattered just as much. At last, you reach the egg's cell membrane. Your membrane binds and fuses with it. Your genetic material enters the egg, while most of your tail and external structures are left behind or broken down. Almost immediately, the egg triggers defenses against additional sperm. Cortical granules release their contents, changing the zona pellucida and blocking polyspermy, because entry by more than one sperm would usually produce an abnormal chromosome number. The door closes behind you. Outside, the remaining sperm keep moving, unaware that the contest is over. Inside, your nucleus begins to change. The tightly packed DNA you protected throughout the journey reorganizes into a male pronucleus. The egg completes its own final meiotic division and forms a female pronucleus. These two genetic packages move toward each other. You did not win because you were simply the fastest. You survived an acidic environment, crossed a hormone-controlled mucus filter, avoided immune clearance, passed restrictive junctions, completed capacitation, responded to guidance signals, reached the correct tube, penetrated the cumulus, underwent the acrosome reaction, crossed the zona pellucida, and fused with the egg at the correct moment. Even that description makes the process sound more deliberate than it is. You had no plan, no courage, and no awareness. Every movement came from molecular machinery, fluid forces, chemical gradients, and biological selection. Then the two pronuclei come together. 46 chromosomes are assembled into one new genetic combination, half originating from the egg and half from you. The fertilized cell, now called a zygote, prepares for its first division. Your individual journey is finished. A new one has begun.